Hi guys, Nafeh here with PTE Melbourne. So I thought today I'm going to give you some tips about summary writing. Summary writing is something that a lot of guys are coming back to me and they have some issues regarding summary writing. And I think getting 79 plus in summary writing is something that is really achievable. And you can really easily get 79 plus if you follow my techniques. So here we go. So certain summary techniques, first of all, you need to understand. You need to develop an understanding of the techniques, and foremost is the reading skills. You need to really have polished reading skills. And what do I mean by having really polished reading skills is that when you're reading the passage, if you cannot comprehend what was the passage about, what were the key points, then it becomes really difficult to catch the real key points and put them in for the summary writing. So you need to have really strong reading skills in this thing. Okay. Secondly, you should be really effective in taking notes. What do I mean by really effective in taking notes is that you need to make sure that when you go for the first reading, you are able to skim for the main idea. The main idea is the thing that the whole passage is based upon. It can be a one word or a two word main idea. And secondly, something guys that you need to understand is that you need to have two supporting points. So the supporting points are usually relevant. In fact, mostly they are relevant to the main idea. So if you want to figure out if something is a supporting idea or not, then it will be relevant to the main idea. That will guide you about the supporting points. Next is using linking words. So once you're done with these things and you've gathered, you've jotted down your main ideas, now in order to make a strong sentence with really strong grammatical and lexical flexibility, you need to make sure that you add linking words like although, however, moreover, but, that is. These really, they bring the beauty in the sentence, that they make it really strong. So you need to make sure that you use them effectively. You need to be productive. What does that mean? That you don't have to make a sentence that is more than 35 words. Now guys, you need to see this thing really, you need to see this thing and you need to comprehend this thing really importantly, that when you make a sentence which is 50 words long or 75 words long, you may make a sentence long, but you compromise the strength of the sentence. And that is very important because the computer will penalize you negatively if the sentence structure is weak. And majority of us who are giving PT come from backgrounds that are non-English backgrounds. Therefore, I highly recommend that not to exceed the sentence length more than 35 words. For me, I make sentences usually around 30 to 25 words. But since I'm giving you a bit of a margin, so 35 is the maximum, don't exceed more than that. Okay, rechecking is very important. You need to understand this, that if you're giving the computer the perfect sentence that you think, but you haven't rechecked it and it's got errors like maybe comma errors, maybe grammatical errors, spelling errors, then the computer will penalize you and that will go against you. So the computer does not care how efficiently you made the sentence. The computer cares that the sentence content should be good, plus it should be free from errors. So you need to recheck, and I tell my students all the time, give minimum 5 minutes because rechecking is very important in summary writing. Now, I've got a sample passage with me, and what I want you to do at this point in time is I want you to pause this video for a bit and I want you to go through a skim this passage so that I can help you out. How do we do summary? Now I'm going to give you a template. This is how I tell my students to do it. There are many ways that you're going to find on YouTube, but my advice is to take one way and stick to it. So if you want, you can stick to my way, and that has really produced a tremendous result. I'll show you on later on that how some of my students have achieved phenomenal results. Okay. Assuming that you have read this thing through right now. So what I did basically was I solved this huge problem by dividing it into subproblems. So what I did was I divided the passage into 3 equal parts. So what usually happens in a composition in English, guys, is that usually when you give it a whole skimming for the first reading, you will find out what is the main idea. And the main idea is usually really highlighted in the first passage. And then you've got the second passage with the supporting idea number 2, and third with the supporting idea number 3. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use the first passage, and I'm going to do a summary of the first passage, then summary of the second passage, summary of the third passage, and I'm going to combine them together. So if you read from the first passage, because I've already done it, so I know what is in it. So if you notice the first passage and give it a second more reading, you will understand that the summary of the first passage is tea is the most common, second most common drink. The second paragraph says that tea requires various geographical and climate conditions for its growth. And the third summary is tea is used in various human consumption habits. So therefore you need to understand this thing, that you do not include, first of all, what is very important, guys, you need to understand is that you will not include extra examples, you will not include extra explanations. So in summary writing, guys, remember this thing, never ever ever include examples and extra explanations, because summary is a summary. It's not an explanation that you will include examples or extra explanations. You don't do that. Never ever do that. It is supposed to be concise and to the point and should deliver the idea. Like it's as if you're telling somebody who hasn't read the passage in one line, what is the passage talking about? This is the summary. So you never include examples. Never ever do that. I'm telling you again and again, because a lot of students make this mistake. So what I did was that I made 3 sentences from the 3 passages. So from the first passage, I summarizes that the second most popular beverage in the world is tea. From the second, I got tea requires various geographical and climatic conditions for its growth. And tea is used in various human consumption habits, from the third one. Now guys, the most important thing right now is that you stop looking at the passage again. Now why is this important? This is important because time is very critical in PTE. You've got 10 minutes to do your summary, and if you don't use those 10 minutes wisely, you will waste a lot of time. And there is a high chance that ambiguity will overtake and you will lose focus and you'll get confused. So in order for that, now since you've already made these 3 sentences, stop looking at the passage, because what will happen is that you will think, oh, sorry, I think this point is also more important. Oh, I think this point is also important. Why didn't I include this point or that point? Or I think this point is less relevant. And that will take a lot of your time, because you're questioning yourself, and that is something you shouldn't do in the time of an exam, because in the time of exam is the time to show delivery. So don't look at the passage anymore. Now you have to use these 3 sentences to make a long sentence. And remember when I told you before about the linking words, we're going to go back a bit. So yeah, these linking words, although, however, in addition, moreover, that is, but, now we're going to combine these 3 sentences using these linking words and see the magic, that the sentence form would be of really beautiful but strong structure, and it will be concise, yet it will have all the information in it. So I'll show you how. So what I do is what I did is that usually everybody is different, everyone's got a different habit of using linking words. I prefer although, however, commas and. These are the things that I usually prefer in personally. You can have your own choices, but make a habit and stick to it of using those linking words. So what I did was that I took these are the previous sentences, and what I did was, before the first sentence, so this is a complete sentence. Now in order for these sentences to be combined together, you need to make them incomplete sentences. Now you don't overthink this, especially for students who are coming from non-English background. This is something that we do in English. Don't worry about this thing. What you need to do is that you need to make the complete sentence as an incomplete sentence, so that it is easy for you to combine these 2 sentences together. So what we do is, in order to make it in an incomplete sentence, what we will do is that we will add linking words. So what I did was I added although with the first sentence. So I said, although the second most popular drink in the world is tea. So now you can see when I added although, it becomes a bit incomplete sentence. And then I put a comma, and then I said it requires different conditions for its growth. Now I even concise the different geographical and climatic conditions, because like I said, in summary, you don't have to include extra explanation. You need to include information that will at least deliver the message. So I said it requires different conditions for its growth, comma, and is used in various human consumption habits. So you see, the beauty of the linking words is that they help produce a sentence which is although long but yet is strong, cohesive, and is free from errors. So this is how I do it. You can use different linking words, the ones that you prefer. But the idea is that this is how you'll make a long sentence. And what I want you to do is that before we proceed further on, this thing you need to practice again and again and again. And I personally think, because what I did even for my exam years back was that I practiced myself with although, however, and. And when I practice again and again and again, guys, you come to a point that you can use the same word with any sentences to make a long sentence. And that is when, you become a guru. That is when you are ready for any challenge. So I would prefer you to use a group of words that you feel like confident, or I would highly recommend use although, however, and commas, and then try to implement it to any sentences, so that in exam time you don't have to think. This is very important, guys. In exam time, a lot of students start thinking, start being creative. That is not the time to be creative and start thinking. That is a time for implementation, because timing, again I'm saying, timing is very, very, very important. You need to manage your time for your exam. Now the grading in PTE, for people who are applying for the immigration, they do understand that you need to have 79 from 79 till 90 score, that they will get 20 points for the immigration, and for 65 to 70 they'll get 10 points, and below 65 you get 0. So always aim high. That is why I put this thing, always aim high. That is for 79. It is achievable using my technique. It is totally achievable. So basically, now the question is, how will my summary be graded? This is one of the questions that my students ask me, that how my summary is graded. So your summary is graded on 4 things basically: content, form, grammar, and vocabulary. So content means that you have included all the relevant points. If you have included all the relevant points, like the main idea and the supporting ideas, you will get 100% on the content. Don't worry about that. In the form section, you need to make sure, in order to get 100%, that you make one sentence and not 2 sentences. So if it's one sentence, and even if it's not very relevant, you will still get full marks on the form side, because you followed and you played by the rules that are set up by PTE for the summary section. That is one sentence. Don't ever make 2 sentences, otherwise you'll get 0. And grammar and vocabulary should be really polished. You need to make sure that you know how to put commas, you know how to use linking words. That is something that you need to work on. There are a lot of exercises on the internet. If you need further information, that you're more than welcome to contact me. I can help out with you with further exercises. We usually give, every Saturday we give a free master class in which we help out students. So you're more than welcome to attend that, and we help students out how to make stronger sentences. Now there is a misconception. There's a misconception amongst people that spelling is the most important thing in writing or summary writing. Spelling is important, but you can't say that spelling is the most important thing in summary writing, because I'm going to prove otherwise. I've had students who have achieved 90 in their writing, my students who have got coaching from me, but they have had scored really less on their writing skill, their their spellings, but yet they have achieved quite a significant score in their writing. So Tariq has been a student, and as you can see, he got the 90 score. 90 in listening, reading, speaking, writing. He had been my student. He had taken coaching from me for 2 weeks and he got this score. He had never given PTE before, by the way. So what you can see is that spelling in Tariq has got 46. If you see spelling, it's just 46 for Tariq, yet he got 90 in his writing. So that means although spellings are important, I'm not going to say the spellings are not totally important, spellings are important, but they don't define the overall score that much that people get often confused about. But it is always better to perfect your spelling, because spelling are sometimes important in the listening section. So contact me and I'll give you a list of spellings that you need to perfect that are very, very commonly used in the PTE, and they come really commonly. There is a list of 250 words. Contact me and I'll send you a free link to that. Basit got 46 in his spelling. He was one of my really good students. He got 46 in his spelling, but in writing he got 87. Brilliant student, Basit. But like I said, spellings are not very, very important. They are somewhat important, but they don't define the score in writing. Yet he got 87. So how now the thing is that for people who want to score high in PTE summary, they want to understand that how they can score high and what is the procedure. So I would tell them that you need to find a teacher first of all who's already given PTE and done it. This is very important because people go to for advice sake to people who have not even given PTE before in their exams, or not really polished, or who don't have a portfolio of students like we do, and they ask advice and unfortunately they become unsuccessful. You need to ask some private time from your mentor who are you seeking advice from PTE, and ask him that how he can help and how first of all he can help you achieve that score. Secondly, you need to make sure that he gives you some personal time so that he can particularly see what is the fault that is lying in you and how can you polish it further on. I highly recommend that you go for one-to-one teaching. One-to-one is really important because that really helps the mentor sit in front of you and guide you in the right path so that you don't lose too much focus like in classes that many of the academies teach, unfortunately. If you want further help, you've got our number 0434844533. I'm gonna possibly you can see on the down our number, and you're more than welcome to WhatsApp message us, call us up and seek further advice regarding your PTE. If you have been unsuccessful in the past, you're more than welcome to ask questions. You're more than welcome to take coaching from us. We've got a portfolio of students who have achieved successfully above 79. We usually target 79 plus score because our standards are really high. That's what, because if you aim high, you get high. You can find us on Facebook. So it's PTE, so it's facebook.com/PTE Melbourne. Facebook.com/PTE Melbourne. And you can even find us on YouTube. It's Nafeh, Nafeh, Nafeh PTE. You can type on YouTube and you can get to my channel. You can again call us at 0434844533. Anyways, guys, this is for today, and I'll see you guys soon. So guys, if you like this video, please like, comment, subscribe, share. And if you want further information, you're more than welcome to join our Facebook page, facebook.com/PTE Melbourne, where you get a lot of material for your PTE exam and videos and preparation material. In addition, if you want to see, you can see my portfolios of students who have successfully achieved 79 plus, because PTE is really easy, and with my tips, tricks and techniques and templates, you can easily ace the PTE. That's not an issue. So thank you so much for watching this video, and good luck with your PTE exam.